What if I told you that a $2 bag of powder could slash your indoor temperatures by 10 degrees without touching a thermostat or paying a cent in electricity? It sounds like a scam, right? But this isn't magic. It's science that's been used for over 4,000 years. Entire civilizations were built on this foundation. And today, the multi-billion-dollar air conditioning industry doesn't want you to know about it because a cheap, permanent solution doesn't create recurring revenue. To understand why this powder is so powerful, we first have to understand the physics of heat. Most of our modern buildings are designed to be heat magnets. Standard dark roofs absorb up to 90% of solar radiation, turning your home into an oven and forcing your air conditioner to work overtime. But the ancients had a better way. In ancient Egypt, the Great Pyramid of Giza wasn't always the tan, weathered stone we see today. It was originally encased in 5.5 million tons of polished limestone. These stones were so white they reflected the Saharan sun like a mirror. The Egyptians polished this Tura limestone to a mirror-like sheen. This mirror effect was so powerful it prevented the stones from even getting hot. This kept the internal burial chambers at a stable 68 degrees year-round, even when the desert outside reached over 110 degrees. They also used malkaf, wind catchers, and wetted reed mats to create evaporative cooling. It was a sophisticated system of physics, not electricity. The Greeks took these principles and applied them to entire cities. They didn't just use limestone for beauty, they used it to manage their climate. Buildings were designed with a southern orientation to catch the winter sun, while overhanging eaves provided deep shade during the brutal summer months. This is why we see those iconic whitewashed villages across the Mediterranean. It's an architectural survival strategy that has worked for thousands of years. The Romans perfected these techniques. They were the first to document them in formal architectural treatises, like the famous works by Vitruvius. They built atriums with central water basins called impluvia. These didn't just catch rain, they used evaporation to cool the air inside the home. But their secret weapon was lime-based plaster. These coatings were breathable, allowing stone walls to release moisture and maintain a fresh, cool atmosphere. For thousands of years, humans stayed cool without a single kilowatt of electricity, simply because it was cheap, effective, and scientifically proven. To understand why this works, we need to look at the chemistry of the lime cycle. It starts with heating limestone to create quicklime. When you add water, a process called slaking, it turns into hydrated lime. Once applied, it reacts with the carbon dioxide in the air to turn back into solid stone. As it hardens, it forms billions of microscopic crystals. These crystals are perfect at scattering visible light, reflecting over 90% of the sun's energy. Because these crystals are so small and numerous, they act as tiny mirrors, scattering almost the entire solar spectrum back into space. Beyond cooling, this lime wash is naturally antiseptic, fire retardant, and antifungal. It was the ultimate multi-purpose coating for the ancient world. So why did we stop using it? In 1902, Willis Carrier invented the modern air conditioner. It was a technological marvel, but it came with a catch. Unlike passive limestone cooling, AC units could be sold, repaired, and billed every month. They represented a shift from free cooling to a recurring revenue model. The industry heavily marketed active cooling, and slowly, the ancient art of lime painting rooftops was pushed aside and forgotten. The knowledge wasn't rediscovered until the energy crisis of the 1970s. Scientists at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab began to quantify the impact of white surfaces. Led by pioneers like Art Rosenfeld, they proved that painting roofs white could reduce building cooling loads by up to 40%. They also identified the urban heat island effect, where dark pavement and roofs trap heat, making cities significantly hotter than the surrounding countryside. They estimated that for every 100 square meters of dark roof replaced with white, we offset 10 tons of carbon dioxide. The environmental impact was staggering. But in 2021, a team at Purdue University took this to the extreme. Professor Shulin Ruan developed the whitest paint ever recorded. Reflecting 98.1% of sunlight, this paint actually drops the temperature of the surface below the ambient air temperature. Unlike titanium dioxide, which absorbs UV light, they used barium sulfate particles of varying sizes to scatter the entire solar spectrum. By using different particle sizes, they could scatter more wavelengths of light, achieving a level of reflectivity previously thought to be impossible. They found that painting a 1,000 square foot roof provides 10 kilowatts of cooling power, more than most residential central AC systems. If this works so well, why isn't it on every roof? Because the air conditioning and paint industries are worth over $300 billion annually. Limestone is a commodity. You can't patent it, and you can't sell a subscription to a white roof. It represents a fundamental threat to the industry's profit model. This is enforced by homeowner associations. Many mandate dark roofs to maintain a cohesive look, effectively forcing you to pay for expensive cooling. But things are changing. New laws in states like California and Florida are beginning to protect a homeowner's right to cool. The legal tide is turning. Homeowners are fighting back, using scientific data to prove that reflective roofing is a right, not just a preference. The resistance is growing. Take the case of one Texas homeowner who decided to take matters into his own hands. He applied 2 bags of lime powder to his roof in defiance of local rules. His attic temperature dropped from 140 degrees to 97. His indoor temperature fell 10 degrees, and his AC bills vanished. The total cost? $28. Compare that to the $5,000 cost of a new AC unit plus monthly electricity. The savings are incredible. To do this yourself, start by buying Type S hydrated lime. You can find it at almost any local hardware store for under $15 a bag. Mix 1 part lime with 2 parts water until you have a smooth, creamy consistency. This is the same basic recipe used by the ancients for 4,000 years. Apply with a thick brush or roller. We recommend 2 coats, letting the first dry overnight for the best reflectivity and durability. For an average roof, you're looking at 1 afternoon of work and less than $30 in materials. It's pure physics at work for you. But it's not just about your wallet. Modern air conditioners rely on hydrofluorocarbons, refrigerants that are thousands of times more potent than carbon dioxide as greenhouse gases. As these units leak or are disposed of, they accelerate global warming, creating a vicious cycle where we need even more cooling to survive the heat we've created. Our power grids are also at a breaking point. During peak summer heat, air conditioning accounts for up to 70% of residential electricity demand. This leads to brownouts and grid failures when we need cooling the most. Passive limestone cooling offers a way to take the pressure off our failing infrastructure. In the developing world, where electricity is scarce and heat is lethal, this $2 solution isn't just a convenience, it's a life-saving technology. By adopting these ancient techniques, communities can protect themselves from rising temperatures without the need for expensive, high-maintenance mechanical systems. This knowledge never truly disappeared. It was simply buried under layers of corporate marketing and industry influence. But the proof is in our history. From the Great Pyramids to the villas of Rome, our ancestors knew how to stay cool without burning fuel. They lived in harmony with the environment. As we face rising temperatures and energy costs, these ancient secrets are becoming more relevant than ever. Passive cooling is the future of sustainable living. The powder is still there, on the shelf, waiting. It's cheap, effective, and timeless. It's time we remembered how to use it and reclaim what was almost lost. Modern science confirms it outperforms expensive AC units. The choice is yours. Will you stick with the industry model or reclaim your cool? If this video provided value to you, please subscribe and like. Your support helps us uncover more hidden truths from our past. I'll see you in the next video. Stay cool and stay informed.